Welcome, everybody, back to the Nuggets of Gold podcast and YouTube channel. So, today I want to talk about something that has been floating around Twitter. Not like there's any reality to it, but people have been talking about wanting to fire Kyle Shanahan. And I really couldn't disagree more. I don't understand how this has come across so quickly. It's one of the biggest examples of all right, let's freak out because it's September and we're 2-2. Looking around the league, the Chiefs are 2-2. The Steelers are 1-3. There's a lot of good coaches and good organizations that aren't playing really well right now. Um, Also, I get that some people haven't liked Kyle Shanahan's play calling, but he's been incredibly limited with Jimmy Garoppolo this season. Jimmy Garoppolo has completed 4 balls that aren't like right in front of him in within the tackle box or less than 10 yards. So anything pushing the ball outside, he has not completed this year. He's completed 4 passes. He is not pushing the ball down the field at all. And because of that, you have safeties and linebackers. Everyone's just hanging around the middle of the field. We saw Kittle almost get his knee torn last Sunday, and you see an offense that can't run the football. That's because their safeties are playing in the box because that's where every throw is going to. No matter what, every ball is there. In the Seahawks game, the Niners were moving the ball downfield fine, and then you had multiple plays on third down where the play is right there. The play is right there to be made, and there's a PBU because the ball's behind them on 2 times. And once again, there's no ability to test the ball downfield. That's a limited offense for any play caller. It's going to be tough for any play caller in that situation. So because you don't like the Debo sweep, we're going to fire Kyle Shanahan. I don't get it at all. Um, Kyle is regarded as one of the best offensive coaches for a reason. There's a reason why Bill Belichick and other coaches are yeah, he's the closest thing to one of these young guys. He's the closest thing to what we resemble in ourselves. You've seen Andy Reid praise him. Like I said, Bill Belichick. You've seen all of these young coaches praise him. The guys he's worked with, Sean McVay, those are they're very good friends. They've worked together. They run very similar schemes. They think alike. That's the group that he's grown up with. I'm just confused of where this kind of came from. I know about one of the other things that has been talked about is his ego. That's a big thing that people don't like. Uh, Pretty much all of the great coaches have big egos. One that is definitely had a big ego was Bill Walsh. And there's a story about Bill Walsh. So when he went, when they were looking for Montana's replacement, it was his days were kind of dwindling down. He brought up the idea in a team meeting that he wanted to trade for Steve Young, gave his points, said, here's why I think we should go make a move for this guy. And nobody else agreed with him. Not a single person. Basically, Bill Walsh left the room screaming and irate and then went and traded for Steve Young. And that worked out pretty good. So we have seen Bill Belichick's another guy. He will cut a guy after he had a 200-yard performance because he showed up late to the team meeting the next day. A lot of these guys are, no, this is how it is and this is my way, but this is what works. And I think Kyle definitely does that. But I don't think his players feel he's coming across very it's about him. That's never how a player's talked about him. So if it's he really has belief in his system, that's what all the great coaches do. Even in other sports, Phil Jackson ran the triangle until 2013. Yes, he kept running with his system. All like I was saying, all of the greats try to do this. You have a system that you create, and you're going to base your offense around that. Does that mean that he hasn't made adjustments? I don't know if he's really had the ability to do that under Jimmy. With Trey Lance, I hope we see adjustments. I think we already see them when he comes in the game. They try to run the ball more, and then you need to adjust off that. So I think every week we're going to see him becoming more and more familiar with what Trey can and can't do at this point in his career. But I don't think 4 weeks into the season after the Niners 2 years ago made a fantastic Super Bowl run. Last year, I mean, every year being decimated by injuries, I can't put that on him. If we're gonna get mad at anyone, the guy we need to get mad at is Jimmy Garoppolo because he hasn't been healthy. And I'm not mad at him. It's not his fault, but that's the person to blame, not Kyle Shanahan, who's been running, been using Nick Mullins. Now, what you can critique Kyle for, in my opinion, is why is Nick Mullins the backup for so long? Why is CJ Beathard the backup? That shouldn't be the case when you have these great rosters. But this year, not moving on, but Jimmy goes down, and now you have Trey. now you're going to see, okay, what has he got? Like, there's not going to be, he's not going to get fired in the next 2, 3 years. Like, that would be the longest time until that happened. I just don't really know where this is coming from. I totally disagree with it. I think, maybe he does have a little bit of an ego, but like I said, the great coaches do. Um, I don't know. I was just very surprised to hear this. Are there, the one thing I will really criticize him for is the way he's talked about like Trey Lance a little bit. It's been odd. I will say that. So that's the one thing I'm kind of skeptical about is just like, all right, what are you doing with this guy? Because for a while he did look lost. So I get being frustrated with that. I get being frustrated with Kyle too. Like that's one thing. But say to go fire him now, that's a whole nother story. That is like the most September like football take ever. Or I guess it's October now, but first 4 weeks of the season where it's just like, oh, it's all like everyone's freak out because this happens every single year with a lot of good teams. Hopefully they settle in. I do think the roster is a little bit depleted. I do think the kind of what you're thinking about for the season is a little bit different now. Like the priority of the season is let's develop Trey Lance now. Like that's what it's become. Now the second priority is let's make the playoffs and have a big run. But the first priority should be Trey Lance. It really should. So gonna see how that plays out. Tomorrow I'm probably gonna be on with Aiden, and if not, it'll just be me. But we're gonna talk about is Trey Lance going to be the quarterback for the rest of the year? I'm kind of waiting Jimmy Garoppolo news to kind of see what's up with that. He was supposed to have an MRI sometime today, but we will see what happens in that. But it's going to do it for today. I just wanted to get something out. I'm a big Kyle Shanahan guy. I really think he's the guy for San Francisco. If you do think that he should be fired, though, like let me hear your point. I always want to hear people's points out, but I really got to disagree with this one. And I think he's fantastic. I really do. But thank you all for listening, and I'll talk to you very soon.